What is the essence of step 5? It is healing. And we have to heal before we get freedom. Welcome again to another episode of the 1% in Recovery podcast, where we encourage you to laugh every day. Work hard in recovery, work hard in relationships, work hard in your business, job, school. Just work. And to love unconditionally. Just put much more love out there and watch much more love return. You do those three things, you're going to have a wonderful day. We say recovery is beautiful, your EQ is your IQ, and you cannot outthink an emotional issue. Encourage people now, go to the website, Is Wonderful.Love, Love. Download the Recovery Growth Scorecard. That is going to start, continue, propel your recovery, because every day you are injecting natural dopamine, serotonin, endorphins, and oxytocin. Plus doing things, if you're part of a 12-step fellowship, you will also be doing things where you feel connected to others. Download the scorecard, Is Wonderful.Love, Love, and just have wonderful days. Now let's jump into this week's episode. The essence of step 5. We are doing the essence of every step. I try to look at the steps in a lot of different ways. First is that when I rewrote the 12 steps on how they should be written from a combination emotional, psychological, spiritual way that you can get them and you can start working on them. Then I broke them down, the 12 steps, into one word. One word is the way to really grasp each step. Now what we're doing the essence of the steps. And I'll go over every step as we keep moving forward. Step 1 was you've got to embrace change. Change is coming. Step 2, safety. You have to feel safe, otherwise you will not grow emotionally and spiritually. Step 3, acceptance. You got to accept where you are currently in your life to move forward. When you still want to hold on to some secrets, you still don't want to divulge what has gone on, or you're a gambler, some secret credit card or loan, you're not going to move forward. Step 4, like we said, that's the investigation, where you're really starting to just get totally honest and putting things on paper, putting things in a computer. Because the only way to grow, just like putting all your goals on a spreadsheet, on paper, journaling, the only way to grow is to write things down. It is a proven method. The thing is, I got it in my head, will invariably show up where you forget something, or you don't really attack your life the way you should. So after the investigation, after you get completely honest and put everything down, now step 5, the essence is healing. Now, if we're doing the original 12 steps, you're talking to someone, whether that's a sponsor, whether that's a recovery coach, whether that's a psychologist. But the way I rewrote it is this is when we finally tell the world we're a human being, because we're doing things to get us out of our low self-esteem. We are doing things where we're getting out of our isolation and loneliness. So we start telling a person. First person I started talking a little bit more about emotional issues was my psychologist. Now, like I tell people, I had sponsors in 12-step alcohol programs, 12-step gambling programs, psychologists. And over the years, now I've not drank in 28 years, not had gambled in 25 years. And I've gone even to some couples therapy with psychologists. I've done some other individual later on. I've had different sponsors for various reasons. But it was always about developing an intimate relationship where I could talk about childhood. I could talk about trauma. I could talk about sexual stuff. I could talk about financial stuff. I could talk about my current feelings and not feel judged. Not feel like someone's going to try to change either what had gone on in the past or my current feelings. And so healing is so important. Think about it from a medical standpoint. When we go to a hospital, we go to a doctor, and we have, let's say, a virus. You have a cold. You have the flu. You have some other type of respiratory issue. You want to get over it. You want to heal yourself. Your body needs to heal from whatever is now inside your body, attacking your body. Same thing if you broke a bone or you tore something. You need to heal that bone. You need to heal those muscles, those tendons. And it's the same way emotionally. That's why going on some type of solo emotional journey never works. Because you have no framework of someone giving you feedback. We always minimize how bad things were. The only way to truly understand, to listen, to be empathetic is when we hear another person tell us. They may be the observer, the third party, or they may be the actual person where things happen. And that is where the healing happens. And so it's so important when we're doing this. And that's why, as a recovery coach, yes, I hold your hand. Yes, I get in your face. But I also show an amount of empathy and love and care these 126 days. That's why the Recovery Freedom Circle works. We move forward because we are attacking whatever ails you in all different ways. Most importantly, emotionally and spiritually, but the other ones are very important: mentally, physically, financially, socially. All of this gets us integrated into our life where we are just totally fulfilled and living it. Like I say, I just want people to just live their best life, feel that life is wonderful. So when I give you examples, I talked about everything that kind of happened to me, yes, to my psychologist, to this sponsor that was concentrated in alcohol, to another sponsor who was concentrated in gambling. Now the gamblers, there was probably about 5 or 6 in those early days, because I needed to talk, because I'm more of a gambler than a drinker, and I totally understand the gambling mind more so. I mean, I understand addiction, and I understand depression, anxiety. I understand all of that. I understand recovery. But so I told my story multiple times, and then later on, even almost a good 15 years later, I actually talked to more spiritual, growing up Catholic. I went to a couple Catholic priests. I had my own resentments, my own obstacles why I didn't go sooner. Because when I did confession early on as a child, it just felt like we were just going through the motions. There was no actual listening or caring, and all I had to do was say some Hail Marys, Our Fathers, and everything was good. And the problem was it wasn't solved. I still had all these emotions, all these blocks. So it's so important to keep pushing and growing by talking to more people. That is how we heal. And that's why it's so important. You first have to get into that safety in step 2. You've got to start to accept it. You've got to finally investigate and be honest with yourself as you move forward. You're truly invested in total freedom from addiction, total freedom from gambling, drugs, alcohol. You've got to start talking to people. You've got to open up. Because the stuff that I've done is going to be big. Stuff that you've done is going to be big and could involve the law, could involve money, could involve sexual stuff, could involve childhood, neighborhood, your own culture, country. I go through a lot of this stuff because it's so important to just feel powerful. Like I feel my higher power God in my blood. I feel totally open that no one can ever come back to me and tell me, hey, I just found something out. I go, man, I've been telling my story face to face. I've been on YouTube. I've done a podcast. There's nothing that you can bring up that's going to cause surprise. And even the people that I love, certain things with different people, it took a little longer to come clean. But once you get that total freedom, I found ways to get this out there. So I truly want people to understand that step 5 is just about healing. I want you to feel heard, feel listened to, find a way to feel comforted, find a way to move forward, find a way to get that 99-pound weight off your shoulders, back. Because so much of us keep all that trauma hidden inside our bodies. We have to release it. Time does not heal. Only emotional work heals. And so, move forward. I'd love to work with you if that's how you feel you want to move forward. If not me, find someone, because I want everyone to just live in total freedom where they can just live their best life. With that, remember, life is wonderful. And that concludes this episode of the 1% in Recovery podcast.